Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and that's Potato. He is right there. And welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and we're back again because Amberlynn has a new video. Well, new as of yesterday, Sunday the 16th. I did have the time yesterday on a Sunday to record it, record a reaction, but when I saw the title I said, you know what I'm not gonna do on a Sunday is this. What I'm not gonna do on a Sunday is listen to Amberlynn talk about Beck again. Also, Poe is real sleepy because this morning I took him for a regular vet checkup appointment, but they had to also give him some like new vaccines, and also he got blood work done, so I think he's just a real tired little baby now, which is fine. We love him when he's at peace. We love him when, well, I love him all the time, but I love when he's like peacefully just wanting to take a nap in the chair behind me. But anyways, yes, Amberlynn posted a new video yesterday called My Last Response to Beck, which I'm sure is not even the first time that she said something like this, because to be clear, like, I know that Beck is coming out with a lot of videos right now about their experience with Amberlynn and what happened while they were in a relationship together and things like that. But this is not the first time that Beck has spoken out about their relationship with Amberlynn. I think, if anything, it's just a more detailed conversation that's happened and retelling of things that has happened in comparison to some of the other times that they have contributed to content about their relationship. So Amberlynn most definitely has, at different points over time, said, I'm no longer responding to Beck, has mentioned that she wouldn't make content about Beck, she wouldn't talk about Beck, Beck could say whatever, and even most recently on an Instagram story shared that, like, it wouldn't be good for her mental health for her to talk about her relationship with Beck. And not only that, but she included those clips in the last video we watched on her channel. The last reaction I did, she went back and added the clips from her Instagram story about why she wouldn't respond to Beck, why it was better for her mental health, this, that, the other. And in case you needed a reminder, I'm just gonna share it again right here.
So I've not been with them in almost 5 years. I am a completely different person than I was then. And I'm sure Beck is also a different person than they were then. Nothing was perfect. And I'm gonna let you know that some of the things that Beck has said has been true, and some of the things have been flat out lies. No matter what I say, if I defend myself or not, people will choose to believe Beck. That is the way my whole YouTube career has gone. It's not going to be any different now. So I would rather people believe every single thing that they said just to protect my mental health from having to defend myself to a bunch of people who already have their opinion made up. You know, to be honest, I would rather come clean about the stuff that's true than like sit there and like defend myself over the stuff that isn't true. I just realized that. Like, I would rather be like, yeah, like, I'm gonna take full accountability. That did happen. Those things did happen. But the stuff that I have to defend myself on, girl, I would rather sit in like a lava, like a bowl of lava, and just let my skin burn off at that point, like, truly.
And you know, I think, not to give Amberlynn too much credit here, okay, because obviously she's not doing any of the things that she said she was gonna do anyways, but like, I think to her credit, she is correct in saying that there is literally no way where anybody's gonna be happy with any kind of response that she gives, right? Like, unless, for me personally, unless Beck comes out and is like, you know what, thank you for that apology, I'm good, I'll never talk about it again, or like, whatever, you know, like, unless Beck comes out and says that they feel satisfied with the response, like, for me personally, it's probably not gonna be enough. And obviously, nothing that Amberlynn has to say here, like, no apology that Amberlynn has here is for me to accept. I totally get that. It's just like, so far, Amberlynn has done so little to demonstrate what it looks like to actually take accountability and apologize for her actions and her behavior in the relationship. So, with that being said, I think she would be so smart to just simply not address any of it. Like, I think she's probably correct that her mental health would be better if she just moved on. And also the way that this works, because she's pre-recorded everything, is that she is responding to stuff that Beck said like a week or two ago at this point, right? Like, we are so far behind. Actually, I'm looking at the screen now and it looks like it's about to say that this was filmed on February 7th. I am recording this on February 17th. We're talking about like 10 whole days behind in terms of like where things are actually at in her life today. And so for me, I'm just like, all you're gonna do is stir up more drama. Like, people in this community, like, they certainly don't forget. They certainly will not forget about the ways that Amberlynn has treated Beck, but they certainly will move on to the next thing, you know? Like, they certainly will move on to whatever the next, like, silly, goofy issue is that pops up on Amberlynn's channel, because there's always something, right? So I think she's just, like, wildly, like, stupid for now 2 videos in a row bringing up anything related to Beck, not to mention that, like, she's talked about Beck in, I think, a couple different members-only live streams. The other thing is that, like, the reason that I just really have a lot of hesitation in even watching this is that I think it's impossible for Amberlynn to truly get on camera and give an apology that doesn't involve, one, her making it about herself. Well, really, you just have to stop there, right? Like, her making it about herself. Her saying, like, oh, you know, I had BPD then. I'm a different person now. I also was going through a lot. It takes 2 to tango. I'm just thinking about, like, different phrases that I've heard her say, right? Oh, and also the phrase that she loves especially to say whenever Beck comes and talks about their trauma related to dating Amberlynn, right? Amberlynn loves to say, like, that was 5 years ago. That was 6, 7, 8 years ago. Okay, sure. And you know what was several years ago? Like, the trauma that you reference a lot. And that's not to invalidate Amberlynn's trauma or Amberlynn's experiences growing up and all of the things that she dealt with that made her life particularly difficult as a kid. But it's just like, if you can understand that concept for yourself, Amberlynn, if you can understand the concept for you that it is difficult to move on from traumas you experienced in your past, even decades ago at this point, right? Like, you were a kid like 20 some years ago, and you're still dealing with that trauma, then perhaps you can think about in your head, there's a way that Beck might still be experiencing and recovering from trauma that they experienced in a relationship with you 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So, all that to say, we're gonna watch it. I will watch it with you all. I don't anticipate that, like, I'm gonna have a lot of positive regard for anything Amberlynn has to say. Perhaps she'll surprise me, but I just anticipate that not being the case, divas. So, let me shut the fuck up. And let's get to, shall we?
Oh, hello. So, welcome to a new video. It's actually February.
Wait, at 3 a.m. she's filming this? Girl, you're never doing your best thinking at 3 a.m. Nobody is doing their best thinking at 3 a.m. If you really thought, let me sit down at 3 a.m. and film this response to Beck, I already know this isn't off to a good start.
7th. At 3 a.m. in the morning. Yes, I should be asleep, but here I am awake, filming a video. I was actually getting ready
go to bed, girl.
Get comfy and try to sleep. My sleeping hasn't been the greatest. I've just been having a
lot
of anxiety. And when I have a lot of anxiety, I go to sleep really late, and I genuinely hate it. Something else.
Well, girl, I get that, feel that, hear that, heard that, but maybe deciding to stay up and film a response to your ex at 3 a.m. is not the alternative, you know? Like, maybe that's not the alternative that is going to result in, like, improved sleep.
I've suffered with majority of my life. But anyways, I could have totally slept and waited till tomorrow to film this.
Probably should have.
It's just so heavy that, like, I have to do it now so I can just be completely done with it.
What day of the week is February 7th? That was a Friday. So early Friday morning, late Thursday evening. Okay, I was wondering how this coincided or didn't coincide with her live stream, because she talked a lot about Beck in her live stream. What I'm really guessing, though, is that she saw people's response to her live stream. She probably saw some reaction channels talking about her response to Beck and things like that behind the paywall. And I imagine that maybe that's what's giving her the anxiety, you know? Like, that's what's making her so anxious, is that she thought that she ate with how she talked about Beck and her relationship with Beck in her live stream. And once she realized that, like, it didn't eat the way she thought it ate, she started having anxiety. And so that has led to a follow-up video.
I watched Beck's new video that they posted tonight or today.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, but it was a new one. So that video genuinely shocked me, and it made me feel stupid and dumb. And it made me realize that, like...
Wait, now I need to go know exactly which Beck video she saw, because I think that'll be helpful for us to have some context. So let me pull up. If you don't know what Beck's channel is, it's called Kinda Good, Kinda Beck. You should be able to probably pretty easily just go and seek that out, search that out. It's like the first thing that pops up if you type that into the YouTube search, or at least it is for me. I don't know what everybody else's algorithms look like. But let's see. Maybe it's the compilation one? I'm just gonna click on some videos and see the dates. So this video was posted on February 7th. It was Beck reacting to a compilation video called Amberlynn being rude to Beck. So it could have been that one. I actually haven't watched that video of Beck's. I've watched most of Beck's videos, but I, for whatever reason, had not watched that one. So that has to be what it was, because the other one was the Mr. Snowflake Q&A, and that was posted on February 3rd. So I imagine this compilation of Amberlynn being rude to them is the one that Amberlynn is responding to here, that has made her so surprised, shook, etc. So let's get to.
The way that I viewed our relationship was completely wrong, and I was oblivious to a lot of things, even to the extent of the way that I treated them. So I want to be accountable in that. But this is just the example that I saw in their newest video, where it made me look back and be like, yeah, like, we both actually viewed this relationship completely different. So
I don't know. See, that's I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna let her keep talking, but that is already making me feel like this is not off to a great start, because Amberlynn is always saying, well, we both didn't look at this relationship, or didn't see this relationship the same way. It's just like, you know, like, don't make this about you both. Tell me what you did wrong. Like, in your Instagram stories, you said it would be easier to simply address the things that were true that you did wrong. So, like, let's start there, Diva. Let's start with that. Let's do that. You know? You feel me? Like, we don't need to talk about what you perceive Beck to have done wrong, what you perceive to have been, like, the discrepancies, etc. Simply do what you said you wanted to do, which is come onto the internet and take accountability for the things that were true that you did wrong.
In their new video, they were reacting to a compilation video of me being rude to them for 10 minutes straight. And in the reaction, Beck stated multiple times that it's obvious that they didn't want to be on camera. And they said, oh, look at me zoning out while she's talking. And it's like, both of those things, like, genuinely hurt, and it made me realize, like, I didn't even notice these things. Just like how when I was in a relationship with them, I didn't notice how mean or rude I could come off until looking back, and I just feel super remorseful.
Wait. I need to hear that statement again, because did I understand that correctly? Let me just rewind a little bit and listen to this again.
Beck stated multiple times that it's obvious that they didn't want to be on camera. And they said, oh, look at me zoning out while she's talking. And it's like, both of those things, like, genuinely hurt. And it made me realize, like, I didn't even notice these things. Just
no. Hurt you? Hurt you? See, this is my struggle with if this is an apology, then my struggle is before, if you would have left it at, like, I feel really bad that I didn't notice that Beck didn't want to participate in these things, that would be acceptable, right? But you led into that statement saying, I was so hurt. I was so hurt that they said that. You know what probably hurts worse? To be your partner in that situation where you're being forced to participate in something that you really didn't want to, and your partner was so oblivious to that they didn't even notice until now, years later, that they put you in that situation. Like, I don't understand how you lead that statement off with, I was so hurt. You were the one that was doing the hurting. You were making Beck participate in something they didn't even want to do.
It's like how when I was in a relationship with them, I didn't notice how mean or rude I could come off until looking back, and I just feel super remorseful.
Okay, then say that. Then say that and don't lead off with, it hurts me to hear them say that about me. Like, this isn't about your feelings. This isn't about your feelings right now. Relationship a certain way that it wasn't. I genuinely thought that they wanted to be on camera and that they were okay with being on camera. And I was so accustomed to them zoning out or seeming like they didn't want to be on camera that, like, that was normal for me. But I didn't know that the zoning out and the look on their face, et cetera, was like an indication that they weren't listening to me or that they didn't want to be on camera. Like, that is like news to me. So knowing that, like, I viewed our relationship one way and it wasn't, like, I genuinely look stupid, but I guess, like, maybe I low-key deserve it. Realizing that we both viewed this relationship so differently actually makes it easier for me to be accountable and to apologize. Okay, then do it. If that's the way that they truly viewed it, like, I deeply apologize for that. And just like the way listen, I'm not saying that it's not possible that she doesn't feel some remorse, apologetic, etc. But when you word things, if that's how they genuinely felt, they told you that. They already told you that's how they felt. There's no if about it, diva. There's no if about it. They told you that's how they felt. And the appropriate response is, I feel bad that I made them feel that way. I feel bad. I apologize for making them film when they weren't really invested in it, when they didn't really want to be there, when they didn't want to be doing that. Like, not to mention that, like, you're not even really addressing what the problem is, which is, why did you, as their partner at the time, have no, like, understanding that when they're zoning out, when they're not paying attention, when they're not invested in doing things with you, that there's a problem? I mean, certainly I think, like, you could probably look back and be like, wow, I can't believe I didn't notice that. Then address that part too then, right? Like maybe you didn't understand at the time, and that's fine. Then, like, say that now. But, like, I feel like you're skirting around what the actual issues are here. There's nothing I can do to change their opinions and their thoughts and their experience, because that's what they lived. I wasn't the greatest girlfriend. I wasn't the most perfect girlfriend, but I will say I'm not all good, I'm not all bad, and I wasn't that way then either. Like, our relationship was definitely complex, and even though it might not be visible to the public or even to Beck in this moment, I have taken accountability for the things that I've done. And in the video... In what way? In what way? In what ways have you taken accountability? Could you just say those things for me? Like, perhaps I missed it, but what you showed in your last video, in your last public video, like, that was not coming across to me as accountability. You said you had no problem taking accountability, but I didn't hear one time in that whole video you say, I apologize for doing these specific things. I did these specific things as a partner and I feel bad about it. You're making like broad claims like I wasn't a perfect partner. Well, sure, nobody is, but that's not taking accountability. I just, like, girl would not know what accountability was if it came up and like hit her in the face. Like if she literally ran right into it. Like,
They even stated, like, I don't want you to reach out to me, and that's very much why I haven't.
Okay,
because I want to
perfect.
respect those boundaries.
Great.
But they said, I don't want an apology from you. I genuinely feel like Beck deserves an apology for the wrongdoings that I did do. But if they don't want to accept it or hear it, then I have to be okay with that. I'm not going to apologize to the internet. The apology wasn't for you guys. It was for them. I feel like in this situation, like, this type of accountability should be handled in private, just like the apology should have. And the sort of discussion that is like happening between back and forth with us, like, these things should be happening in...
You want them to happen in private because that's where it best serves you. But I think what a lot of people who have interacted with you have realized, myself included, is that, like, talking with you in private is a completely different experience than how you like to show things and perceive things in public on your YouTube channel. What you don't like about Beck doing this publicly is that it no longer fits your narrative and no longer fits the story that you have told about your relationship with Beck for all of these years. That's the problem that you have. That's why you feel like it should be done in private. Listen, certainly for me, one of my friends on the internet, Charlie Gold, like, we talk frequently, both publicly, about how, like, we're happy to handle things privately with each other because that's the kind of rapport we have. That's the kind of friendship we have. We discuss things directly if we don't agree or disagree. Actually, we haven't disagreed on some stuff in a while. I certainly don't watch all of her content, especially when she's like covering Amberlynn, because that's not for me. But certainly, like, there are relationships where it is totally appropriate to cover things or approach things privately. But you have demonstrated time and time again that when people do try to handle things with you privately, that you go on to misrepresent them publicly. And I can say that for myself from my own experience, which is why every time now that you message me or you try to communicate with me privately, I do bring it to the table, because I tried to very, very kindly handle stuff with your weight loss surgeon being exposed to the internet privately, because I didn't want that to happen to you. I don't think that's appropriate for people to be reaching out to your weight loss surgeon. And what did you do when you finally were open and public about who your weight loss surgeon was? You tried to make it seem like I was lying on your behalf to, like, work in cahoots with you, totally misrepresenting, when all I wanted to do was simply not have further information out there about who your weight loss surgeon was until you confirmed it. And so it's like, of course people no longer want to deal with things privately with you because you're a fucking mess. You purposely, like, convolute the story. And so the only way for your exes, for reaction channels, for your friend Alexis to set the record straight is to talk about these things publicly, okay? It's another example of, like, so many people have the same problem with you, Amberlynn. So many people. Me, Beck, Destiny, Alexis. Like, when so many people have the same problem where, like, your story is no longer matching the private conversations you're having with them, you're the problem, diva.
Private. And it's like when personal matters like this are brought onto, like, a public platform, I feel like backed up in a corner. Like,
okay, personal problems? Diva, the video you're talking about specifically is Beck reacting to public clips and content that you put out. that were on your channel, I assume still on your channel. Like, what do you mean personal stuff? Beck is responding to public content, diva.
To defend myself, or I have to say something. But it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and go through every single thing that they said, like every single claim, every single this or that, because that is just gonna fuel negativity. I truly don't feel like the back and forth is productive for either of us. But
so what are we doing here? Because this is another thing. This is another thing where Amberlynn loves to have the last word, loves to have the last side of the story. And so she'll say things like, I'm done after this. I'm no longer conversing. I'm above it. I'm above the drama. And it's just like, girl, you didn't even have to do this. If you're so above the drama, you don't have to be sitting here for 10 minutes and 21 seconds responding to Beck to begin with.
I feel like sharing their story is what is going to help them in the long run, then go for it. But I have to genuinely step away. Like I said, I was
step away now.
And that was standing. But like hearing all of these things being said, it's been hard for me because it's like I have shown growth in my personal life, and it's hard to like show growth publicly when these are things that like was happening behind the scenes. So publicly.
Okay, just one more time. Once again, I want to reiterate here because certainly some of the things that Beck has made videos about have been stuff that like have not been public, right? Like Beck has talked about some behind the scenes stuff. But the video that prompted Amberlynn to sit down at 3 a.m. and record this video was Beck reacting to a compilation of clips that are publicly available on Amberlynn's channel.
Might look the same to you guys, but I have changed a lot. I'm always
not convinced,
open
Diva.
for growth and for changing to be a better person every single day, and I want to reflect on the past more because that actually genuinely helps me see ways that I need to improve and ways that I already have improved. And I just want to say that anytime that I had Beck on my channel, it was never out of malice. I never meant to disrespect them, and I really, 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 really did love them. This might be a little tea because no one knows, but when Beck and I were just friends while I was with Feline, and Feline did know this, don't worry.
Okay, wait. Oh, yeah, I'm not convinced y'all were friends post-breakup. You're trying to tell me that you were friends with Beck while in a relationship with Feline? Because I'm not buying that. I'm really not.
One night I got really, really drunk, and I told Beck, like, I really was in love with you, and I still love you. Like, you're a great person.
That's crazy that you would come onto the internet and admit that. That's crazy work. Wild work that you'd come onto the internet and admit this. What does this have to do with you coming on here and taking apology? I don't even know why you're bringing this up, Diva. This makes no sense to me. This is wild, wild work. What, like, that just feels like continued manipulation. You're fully allegedly moved on in a relationship with Feline, and you're drunk texting your ex telling them that you really did love them. Like, this is why people suggest to you, Amberlynn, that you move on too quickly. Oh my god. Wow. Why would you admit that on the internet?
I hyped them up because genuinely, I owe so much to them, and
yeah, I believe you owe them money for participating in some live streams and you never gave it to them. Let's start there with what you owe to them, Diva.
I have so much gratitude to them. They were there for me during some of the hardest moments of my life, i.e. when I was diagnosed with cancer.
Also, very vividly also remember you posting some Instagram stories. If you want to bring up the cancer stuff, you bringing up some Instagram stories about how, like, if you hadn't been in a relationship with Beck, you would have, like, gone and had your cancer addressed quicker or sooner or something like that. I'd have to find the actual screenshot, and maybe if I think about it while editing, I'll try to include it here. But, like, you fully did that. Please shut up. Please just, like, apologize. I don't need to sit here and hear you reminisce about all of the things that you think are great about Beck and stuff like that after the fact. Like, you really just need to say, I did this fucked up shit and I'm sorry. And we are 6 minutes into this, over halfway through this video, and I still don't really feel like you've done that at all.
I have never tried to show them in a certain way. Nothing was ever out of malice from the bottom of my heart, and I just really needed to make that clear. Like, honestly, all I can really do is just continue working on myself. My focus
go to
moving
therapy.
forward is to just ignore it all. Like, I wanted to take what Beck is doing and put it in, like, a positive way and put a positive spin to it and, like, be like, yeah, I am accountable. But at the same time, obviously, like, I do find frustrations in the ways that I feel like they are exaggerating or they have lied.
So you're just not going to take accountability for anything then? You're going to sit here instead and emphasize that there are things that you feel like they exaggerated about or lied about? When you said it would be easier to come on here and take accountability for the things that you did? Okay. All right, Amberlynn. Makes so much sense. Makes so much fucking sense.
I do firmly believe that two things can happen at once. I can be accountable, but I can also be frustrated. But I'm not accountable and frustrated about the same things.
And you've mostly just been frustrated is what it sounds like, because I haven't heard you keep using the word accountable, and I'm not clear what parts of this video are you taking accountability.
Everyone likes to say there are three sides to every story. Their side, my side, the truth.
And God's side. And God's side. On Twitch, I've only watched one video from this YouTuber, maybe two. She's a Dollar Tree YouTuber named Pamela's World, and she got into some beef with another Dollar Tree channel. And she was talking about how there's three sides to every story. There's her side, your side, and God's side. Which I was like, oh, that's an interesting work on that phrase, or retelling of that phrase.
Example of, like, people viewing things differently, like, kind of what's going on with, like, Blake and Justin. Blake feels like one thing happened, while Justin's like, no, that's not what happened.
Diva, I know we're not talking about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni right now. Like, please, this is not the argument you want to make right now. You do not want to go down this road right now, Diva. I just don't know why you would even bring all of that into this. Like, this video is actually worse than I anticipated. Actually, she somehow managed to make this response worse than I anticipated. Girl, what are we doing here? So you know what? I can't even sit here and firmly be like, okay, Beck is lying, because if they viewed it that way, then I have to accept that for what it is. Because what's true to someone and the way that they view something might not be true to everyone else in the room. Okay, this is again where it's like clear that she doesn't think she did anything wrong. Because not only did she say if that's how they feel, she also went on to say, well, if that's how they viewed things, if that's what they felt, then that's real for them, even if it's not true. So basically what Amberlynn is saying here is that Beck is not correct in the way that they feel about their relationship with Amberlynn. I just want to beat my head against my desk right now.
I want to play devil's advocate here for a second.
Nobody needs you to play devil's advocate here for a second. All people need you to do is just take accountability. The one thing that you claimed 1,200 times in this video you're going to do. That's literally all you have to do.
Remembering something wrong that Beck genuinely remembers as like a full truth, then that's fair as well, because I have really bad memory problems due to moments of high stress, trauma, BPD. When I have anxiety, sometimes I'll literally like black out because I'm so anxious. I just want to say, whether my apology was behind a paywall, whether it was in a Snapchat, whether it's in a YouTube video, or whether I say it to Beck directly, it is 100% sincere. And I have apologized to them personally, But that was years ago after our breakup. Beck and I was friends for about a year.
Beck and I was friends. Listen, I understand what she's trying to say. I just am always fascinated because I also sometimes struggle with subject-verb agreement. When I hear her struggle with it, I'm just like, that is such a fascinating way to say that sentence.
We broke up, and obviously that didn't work out, which I understand, but I did apologize to them. I don't think that I took as much accountability as I do now.
Like I said, you haven't even taken any now. What do you mean?
Every day, I like to reflect and just grow into a better person. So I'm not going to sit here and list off every single claim that they said and write down like, okay guys, these are the things that are true and these are the things that aren't. These are the things that I'm accountable for. Like, there's no productivity in that. Because
what is the point of this video? Then why are we here today, Diva?
Knows what I'm accountable for versus what I'm not accountable for. That doesn't bother me. The only person that I'm worried about and them actually hearing me is Beck. And if they don't want to, that's their prerogative. I'm okay with that. I want them to do whatever helps them. I'm not apologizing for myself. I'm apologizing to the person that I was in a relationship with for almost 5 years. And I hurt them, and I'm sorry for that. I really want to continue taking that experience and that relationship and learning from it. Beck can say absolutely anything from this point forward, and I am not going to respond.
I'll fucking believe it when I see it, Diva.
I genuinely wish them nothing but the best. And the apology that I need to give to you guys, if I hurt any of you during this whole thing because you guys care for Beck, then I'm also sorry for that. I am a very flawed individual. That is not an excuse, but I'm a flawed individual that can learn from this experience. And thankfully, I have. Whether people see it or believe it, I know it because I am my own person and I know how I've been in past relationships. And as I've gotten older and more mature, and I've learned more about my BPD and just...
I've learned more about my BPD. Girl, you've gone to a consultation. Maybe by this point... Actually, I said this was a Friday, so maybe she's gone to a full therapy appointment. What exactly do you think you've learned about your BPD that wasn't from like fucking TikToks or something like that? I don't know. I'm sorry. She's almost done. Let's wrap it up. This video, infuriating.
I am as a person. I have become a better person, and I have become a better girlfriend. I've become a better friend. I've become a better pet parent. I've become a better daughter. I've become a better sister, but I'm still flawed. I'm super complex and nuanced, just like we all are. And this just has to be the last time that I speak about this to protect
you. Didn't even have to do it this time, if we're being honest, Diva. I think saying nothing may have been better.
And I hope that Beck does things that also protects theirs. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Well, it's over. Well, it's over. That's done. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Oh, sorry. Let me not sing musical theater, but I don't really have anything more to say. I think I said all that needed to be said. So we're going to leave it there, folks. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's a tough ask today. But if you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too. I just say that because I say that all the time. But anyways, I'll see you all next time. Bye!